showing English, you should wear a helmet, typically expected to be velvet, and must always be ASTM and SEI approved to participate in any boring show. English jackets are traditional in dark colors. The shirt which you wear under your jacket should complement your horse's color and have a collar with a stop pin. English riders typically wear gloves. Your breeches are commonly tan in color. Lastly, your boots are expected to be rubber or leather. It is most preferred to wear leather boots that rise just below your knees. However, younger children may wear jogger boots. Your boots should be polished and clean to give them a shiny appearance. Wearing this attire will help you with your appearance scores in showmanship and help you to rise to the top in your showmanship division.
Next, we are going to talk about how New England 4-H fitting and showmanship class will be scored. There are many factors that take part in the way you and your horse are scored in a showmanship class. The appearance of the animal will make up a total of 40% of your total score. This category is broken down into smaller groups such as condition of the animal worth 15 points, grooming worth 15 points, trimming, braiding, and banding together worth 5 points, and tack worth 5 points. The appearance of the exhibitor will also be a factor in the score, making up a total of 10% of your score.
The last topic you will be scored on is the showing of the animal in the ring. This makes up a grand total of 50% of your score. You will be scored on leading of the animal 15 points, posing 15 points, showing of the animal to your best advantage 10 points, and your poise, alertness, and attitude 10 points throughout the entire class. Once your scores are all added up by the judge, this will determine where you have placed in your class. If the class is only showmanship, typically seen at a breed show, you will only be scored on the showmanship section.
Now that you know all the basics and background of showmanship, you're probably wondering about the patterns. There are 5 things to keep in mind while executing a pattern: your positioning, the quarter system, the maneuvers, your accuracy, and showing to your best advantage.
Beginning with positioning, you always want to be at the correct marker on the pattern. There is a difference between, for example, trotting to be and leaning head on, whereas trotting to be and leaning next to the comb. You also want to position yourself correctly next to your horse. This consists of leading your horse while you move with it around the throat latch area. Positioning is also important when presenting your horse to the judge. You want to be far enough away for comfort, but you don't want to be so far away that you are too far away from your judge.
Now we are going to talk about the quarter system. The quarter system is how you maneuver around your horse while presenting to the judge. You will maneuver in a 4-step process. First, you will step in the direction you want to go, then step with the opposite foot, then step back around, and lastly, plant your feet together facing your horse. It is important that these clean, precise steps are all done in front of your horse's nose. It is a common mistake for exhibitors to tuck in the pocket next to your horse's shoulder. While moving through these steps, you should be able to carry a pizza box. This consists of having straight, level arms at a 90-degree angle. Your elbows should be snug to your sides, not flapping around like a chicken.
Next, you will need to know when to move in relation to the judge. In this system, you will always be 1 quarter distance away from the judge. So when the judge is in front of your horse, you will be on the opposite side. When the judge crosses in front of your horse's nose, you will switch over to the other side. A When the judge crosses behind your horse's tail, you will move over to the other side. It is important at all times to make eye contact with your judge, have your toes pointed towards your horse, and display in front of your horse's nose. So the whole system will look like this. Now on to maneuvers. Some of the maneuvers you will encounter in the showmanship class are walking, trotting, stopping, backing, pivots, pull turns, and setting up your horse. When walking, your horse should move with you at a normal walking pace, not too slow, but don't seem rushed. When you ask your horse to trot, they should trot off easily, and you should be moving with them right around your left area.
The goal in a good stop is to make it swift yet smooth. You want your horse to stop almost instantly in their tracks. When backing, you should turn and face your horse. Make sure your horse backs straight unless the pattern asks otherwise. Another maneuver you will encounter in a showmanship class is pivoting. A pivot is when the horse pivots on its right hind foot while moving the rest of its body around that foot. Another type of pivot is a pull turn. A pull turn is when the horse crosses its right front foot over its left front foot while keeping its hind quarters planted in one location. You also need to be able to set up your horse in a showmanship class.
With all these maneuvers put together, this is what a pattern could look like.
Depending on your age division, the difficulty of your pattern may vary. In this pattern, you would start at the first cone, trot to the second cone, and trot the circle as shown. When you arrive back at the second cone, you would break to a walk and walk until even with your judge, where you would perform a 1 1/4 turn. You would then walk to the judge and set up for inspection. When dismissed from inspection, you would back 1 horse length, pivot 270 degrees, and walk away.
Accuracy is also important when executing a showmanship pattern. You want to stay on track when completing a pattern. For example, if you start 3 feet away from the first cone, you want to maintain that distance throughout the entire pattern. You also want to be very accurate when pivoting. You want to make sure that you are far enough away from the cone so that you don't run over it. You also want to make sure that your horse is in the correct spot, so when the pivot is complete, you are all lined up to move on to the next maneuver.
Showing to your best advantage means that it doesn't matter how good or bad you and your horse are, but that you show like you are the best. If your horse is especially good at backing up, you want to make that part of the pattern stand out. Make it known to the judge that backing up is something you know how to do. The judge wants to see you try.
If you go into the arena and simply run through the pattern, that is not enough. The judge is looking for that one person who goes into the ring and gives it everything they've got. The way that you present yourself and your horse will determine whether you should win or lose. Now the results are in. Horses back to the arena, please. That was a very nice class, seniors. Our winner today is number 56, Holly Buglars with Obviously Awesome Otis.
Today we have talked about the history, tack and grooming, attire, scoring, and patterns for showmanship class. So whether you show English or Western, show an Appaloosa or a paint, these steps will help you to always be pattern to perfection.
Our sources for this presentation were AQHA, APHC,
HorseshowPatterns.com, the New England 4-H Rulebook, and our own personal experiences. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Why is positioning so important in showmanship?
The question was, why is positioning so important in showmanship? Positioning is important because it helps you to present yourself the best, make the biggest